Hello, aloha, welcome back to Patty Puckett Pouring Art. Today I'm going to be doing a couple of molds. This is a turtle mold. It's from Resin. It takes about 7.5 ounces to totally fill. It's about it's 6.5 inches long and about 5 inches wide. It's a pretty good size mold. Let's see. I'm also going to be doing a gecko, and I've already dusted with pigments on the areas that I wanted to color. I'm also going to dust the head of this. So today I'm going to be using this paper. It's really cool. Changes color. I thought it would be good on a gecko and a turtle. I'm going to put this in my shop, so if you look down below in the description, you can click into my shop and you want to buy some of this. It's pretty cool. I have not used it in either of these situations though. It's pretty thick. It's not like a film. It has like almost a material backing on it. So we'll see. So my plan, oh by the way, I've already put, I'm going to be using some shells possibly in the feet. And I've already used a couple of these round shells. I've already glued those in, well, with resin as the eyes. I don't know if you can see that. No. Right here. I glued those in. It had a little spiral, and I thought, well, those would be cute for eyes. So that's going on there. And I took a marker, and you can barely see it. It didn't make perfect lines. I sort of followed the texture that was already there. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, you can use, no, I'm sorry, I didn't use a permanent marker. I use a Posca pen, black. And I didn't really want to stick to it because it's shiny, but I like how it turned out here. How I did the dusting, and I'm going to be using, I'm probably going to mix these two together. This is Lily Pad from Shelly Art, this little piggy, and I'm going to be using Primary Elements, Bells of Ireland, and this is a Primary Elements. Anyway, I love these two colors, so can't decide. I'll probably mix these. I'm going to be doing this in a couple layers. So we'll get to that when we get to that. Because I have different resins and I've never used this resin before, and it's 2-to-1 instead of 1-to-1, it's more of a deep pour resin. My first is going to be about 1.5 inches deep. I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm just going to do clear. Put this on top while it's wet, and we'll see how that goes. I don't know, I might let it dry and then, I don't know, we'll see. This, I'm afraid because you can't go it says on the instructions you can't go, less deep than 1/2 inch, and this probably is a little over, but I've used this clear pour epoxy, and I really like it for all the craft stuff, like the smaller molds. It says you can't go over 1/4 inch, but I have. It's less bubbles, low VOC, so I really like this. This is also from Amazon, and this will be in my shop, so I would not use this. That's why I have for molds only. I tried it on over art on a canvas, and I get a lot of fish eyes, but for molds it's perfect. So I have different resins for whatever I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to mix some resin, and I'll be back. Unfortunately, I'm going to do one at a time. I'm going to mix this resin, and then this resin, and then find another mold. Even though this holds about, because I put water in it and then I measured, it's 7.5 ounces total, but I'm not pouring all the way up, so it's probably going to be, I'm going to do like 5.5 ounces maybe, and see where we're at. Hopefully it'll end, because I want to come up right about to the top of the shell, right in here, and then stop. So I'll have some other molds going on over here. You'll never want to waste resin, so always have something else ready to go for your extra. Let me do some mixing and I'll be right back. Okay, I just remembered something, and it's important to know this. Primary elements does not work well mixing with resin. This primary elements is 100% pure ground color and minerals, where little piggy is mica. Now you need a solvent like a polyacrylic or a varnish to dissolve this, whereas primary elements you can add directly into your paint and it'll dissolve and stir it up. But for some reason with resin it doesn't dissolve, and so you get a little you could still see the pieces. So I started to do it with this, and then I realized what I was doing, and I ended up, you take a dry brush and I brushed the inside of the head. I don't think you're going to be able to see it. You can see the green. Then I went over it with this, and in the meantime I loosened one of the shell eyes by doing that, and so now I really have to keep an eye on it. I don't want it to float, so I don't know at this point. I'm hoping it doesn't float. I hope it works. Okay, so I'll be right back. I'm going to go ahead and mix the resin. I was dusting that, and we'll see what happens. Alright, I got the resin mixed up for the Gecko. I'm going to go ahead and pour it in. Okay, it doesn't have to be all the way pushed down because it's clear. Just have to make sure it's in all your little areas. I think I'm good with that. Tails always. It'll level out. I'm gonna go ahead and spray it with some alcohol. Don't want to mess up your mold with heat unless you do it super quick. I don't have bubble problems with this resin, so I would recommend it. I mean, it's reasonable and it's on Amazon. Alright, I got it mixed up. It's very thin, so no wonder it's for molds. It would just run off for anything else. So let's go ahead and pour. It doesn't have a whole lot of bubbles. Right where I want it. It is going to go up a little bit. I try to cram this in there. This is going to be fun. Just trying to think. This goes like this. So the way I got it in there before is I'm hoping I folded it. Squish it in there. The resin's going to go on top of it. It's okay. Sure, where's bubbles under there, but I don't think I can do anything about that. Hopefully it'll fill in. Eye on this as it starts to set. I've never poured this deep in one layer. I just want to make sure it doesn't overheat. I think we should be good. The next layer I do will probably be clear also, and then I'll put some seashells in the feet. I could go more green. I might go a light green also. I don't know. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll be back. This says it takes 72 hours to completely cure, but I think I can probably do this tomorrow because it won't be all the way cured, but I could pour on top of it at that point. And we'll demold our gecko because it should be ready, and we'll see you tomorrow. Right, it's the next day and I'm ready to demold this gecko. By the way, I have way too many of the green geckos on my lanai. I mean, I have too many. They actually make a mess. They're very cute, and actually they're very smart. We have the brown native geckos here, and those seem, I don't know, they only come out at night. You don't see them during the day, but the green ones come out all kinds of different hours. They lay eggs. I find the eggs. Then I have little tiny geckos. They were imported from another country, so actually Hawaiians don't like them here because they're invasive species and they kill the native geckos. Yeah, we just have too many. They do make a little mess. Okay, let's see what, I hope it's still a little soft. That'll harden up. It's been not quite 24 hours. So let's see what this looks like. Hopefully it looks okay. Cool. Yeah, I'm liking this. There you go. Tail's gold. The head's a little green. Very cute. I think next time I'm going to put more green on the feet. The next one I do. I think that turned out good. All right, I'll get to the turtle I'm doing in just a minute. I'm back with the turtle. It ended up on the edge, as you can see, the black part pulled away from the holographic area, and it did a little bit on this side too, right there, which is weird because it doesn't peel off easily at all. So it's just strange that it did that. So when you turn it over, you can see the area that peeled back is going to be lighter. Here you can see it too, than where the black was. So now I'm going to have to go ahead and pour a very thin layer of black in here. First I'm going to dust the top of this in the head so it stays more green. I'm going to pour a really thin layer here, and I'm hoping, I just don't want that to show up on the other side. You know what I mean? Problem is I don't know how thin I can pour. this. So I'm sort of in, I don't know. So when I figure it out, I'll be back and let you know what I do. Hi, I'm back. I had some issues. I tried to paint, well, I did paint some of the area that the material pulled back. I think it was because I can't separate this. So it says it's embossing, so I don't know what that is actually. I haven't looked it up, but maybe the heat made it separate. And when I did this side, some of the paint got down underneath, so I actually had to pull it out of the mold. So we might have some leakage going down, but I guess we'll have to see, because I'm just going to put a clear coat. I can't put color in it because that might happen, and I will be able to save it if that's the case. So I did put some more material in a little area over here, so I'll have to keep an eye on that. I have some resin mixed up. Didn't want to make too much because I can't really use this in other molds. I don't have any, half-inch molds ready to go here. So let's just pour it in. I'm going to put some seashells on the legs. Alright, I put the shells in. Hello, welcome back. It's been a couple days. Got some wrinkles on the top. I don't know what caused that. The shells moved around a little bit, and I know I'm going to have a problem on the back. As you can see here, it might not be smooth because I did lift the mold out so I can clean off the black paint. So it might be a challenge to fix that, but let's demold it right now and see what we have here. Loosen everything up. Looks like I might have some rough edges because I filled the mold up too high, so let's hope I can get this out of here. But there's a lot of rough edges which can be fixed. That's not a big deal. The tail, next time I need to really push it in. That was just a floating piece of paper. I know the eyes aren't going to be well. I can always paint the head. There we go. Actually, it is pretty level. So it worked out. Yeah. I don't know if I should have a... So right now I'm going to go ahead and paint the head. Maybe I'll glue a couple of shells there. I could always paint the back here. If I want that green too, I might. So let me work on this a little bit and I'll be back. Alright, I painted his head. You can see that. And his little mouth and his nose. I put the little shells for his eyes. Yeah, I think he turned out really cute. I used this Art Minds Candy Apple paint for his head. There even is a little texture there like turtles have going across on their skin. Yeah, it turned out pretty good. Bottom. He's pretty cute. Let me know what you think. Appreciate you watching. See you next time. Make sure you shop my Amazon shop. I have the paper here down there. You can click on that and get into my shop and see a lot of things that I use. Check out my social sites. See you next time. Aloha.